Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Infertile Diagnosis. I'm your host, Monica Cox, along with Sarah Clark, and we're here to support, inspire, and educate those who are all consumed with the label of infertility. We totally know how you're feeling. Both Sarah and I were diagnosed with a form of infertility before we hit our 30s. We let the fertility experts dictate our past and ignored what our bodies were trying to tell us for far too long. So here we are, helping you take control of your infertile diagnosis. This episode of the Infertile Diagnosis is brought to you by the Fertility Reconnect course, brought to you by me, Monica Cox from mymindfulme.com. Now, this course is the course that I would have died for during my infertility years. If you are dealing with unexplained infertility, or if you know you have an autoimmune issue, including thyroid issues, this is the course that's going to get really down to what is going on in your body. We're going to discover together what food you cannot eat and what food you can eat. We're going to work on our mental health, and we're going to work together to build new, long-lasting, healthy routines and habits. So head over to the website, mymindfulme.com, pre-register and get on the list to be one of the first in line. There's only 25 seats available on this course. We're going to have registration on December 1st for 2 weeks, and then the course actually starts on January 4th. So head over to the website for more information. And while you're there, you can become a Mindful Me member for free. And you can actually check out the course and have exclusive access before it goes live. So once again, head over to mymindfulme.com and check out the Fertility Reconnect course. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Infertile Diagnosis. We are on week 16 and we have another Q&A for you. Just two questions this week, but I think we have a lot to say about them. And I think these are probably the top two questions most women ask during infertility, especially the early years. I got asked, how did I determine what supplements to take? Right? This is kind of a loaded question. So what part of my journey are we talking about? Because if you're at the beginning of it, good old Google told me to take all sorts of shit, and that's how I determined what to take. And that's all the easy, quick stuff, right? The royal jelly, if that's like considered a supplement. What was I'm having a brain
Bee
fart.
pollen, maca.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vitex.
There, that's the Vitex one. False unicorn. What's the one that is like the Clomid? Like you can get it like just at the store, but it like supposed to act like Clomid for you. I did that a shitload of times too. I forget what it's called. But yeah, none of these, absolutely none of these. What the CoQ10 is a really popular one.
And obviously, yeah, ubiquinol.
Yeah.
CoQ10.
So all of these are just really focusing on, let's say, fertility issues. And all of them are kind of, if they do work, a quick fix. So there's some people that maybe just need a little boost of CoQ10 and that's all they needed. Maybe they just happen to take it and then they just happen to fall pregnant the next month. I would say if you're still listening to this podcast, this is not you. You've tried them all like I did, and none of those, I got off of all of those supplements when I started working with a functional medicine practitioner. And when he really started looking at my body as a whole, he was like, you're having detoxing issues, you're having gut function issues, so you're going to get on supplements that support those issues, not your infertility, because it's highly likely, which it was, those things are causing your infertility.
Yeah, and I think like the supplement industry is like a is it trillion or billion-dollar industry. It's like everyone's got a new supplement brand coming out, and it's really to figure out, like, we only will recommend professional grade supplements that have been vetted and that we don't have affiliation with any kind of supplement. And it's more to make sure, because first of all, the supplements, they can be filled, they can have fillers, the top allergens. I don't know how many times we've had lots of people's supplements, we found out that they have a high intolerance to gluten, extremely gluten sensitive, and then they've got wheatgrass, which, even though that could be like a fertility supplement, if you're, I think we talked about this before,
Yeah.
if you have gluten sensitivity, wheatgrass is not recommended. So that could be in your supplements, or it could have soy, like those top allergens can have dyes, fillers. So to look at the supplements that you're using, first of all, and then to, if you're taking a laundry list of them, to know why you're taking them. And then I think a lot of times we're just taking these ones that are these general recommendations, and there's still a lot of money. Even if you go to
Yeah.
Costco and you get it from Costco or Walmart, there's still a cost to it. And so obviously we take a more targeted approach. Like the basics would be, everyone should be doing a probiotic. Um, Everyone should be doing magnesium, because it's like 85% of us are deficient in it. Digestive enzymes, because a lot of times people, we got gut health, so digestive enzymes are a bitters. Um, and obviously a prenatal with methylated folate. Like those are the basics, and an omega. And then the rest that we recommend, like for a protocol, for the same as you, they're all targeted. It's based on testing. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't say like everyone's taking Vitex or we got to take whatever it may be. It's to look at testing, and we look at stool testing and look at the Dutch test, dried urine test, to see, oh, where are your hormones and what's going on, and is there food sensitivity, is there gut infection, and then figuring out like a protocol then to actually target that. And so you don't have to take bags of this stuff for years, because I've probably, like you, had bags of it in my cupboard and spent lots of money on this, and it wasn't targeted until I did a functional approach where it actually got to the root cause, and why, each supplement, why you're taking it. Like it's explained, you're taking this because of this. It's
Yeah.
about education. And I think in the like yeah, in the fertility community, with those kind of fertility supplements, that there's a lot of money being spent on that. And especially to me, if it's got some of those fillers, dyes, and even more crucial, that top allergen. Like if you've got a food sensitivity and you're taking it every day in your supplement,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
not so good.
exactly. Yeah. Oh God, I used to do them for the week because there's so fucking many of them, and I put them in these little baggies for the morning and the night. And then if I had to take 3 times a day, I would take them, that little baggie to work. And even when I was doing my diet and nutrition, I've talked about this before, when I saw the iridologist, and then he put me on a shitload more supplements, which were just kind of like random. Oh, you're infertile, there's no real reason, here, we'll take all this kind of stuff. I think he had like kind of an approach, but it was just so like broad, wasn't it? And yeah, it just I'm surprised I didn't go blue. And I would shudder to think how much money I actually spent on vitamins over, even like going through, like, let's say 4 or 5 years of randomly taking them. And then when I did get properly diagnosed with, leaky gut or detoxing issues, supplements are key. They are a really important part of helping you heal, especially when you're taking the prenatal vitamin, getting those nutrients that you might not necessarily get in a diet. Even if you're eating a organic diet, there's all the farming issues, and that's a whole nother topic, but they are important. So going on all those supplements for another year or two, and then still taking supplements, I mean, I don't take nearly as much now, but you're still like your omega-3s and your fish oils, things like that are healthy, every day. Well, not every day. I don't take supplements every day anymore. And that's another thing that I think is an issue with supplements, is that it's almost like you get obsessed, right? And if you didn't take those supplements for that one day, that's the reason you're not pregnant.
Yeah.
And I know I got to a stage of that. It's like, oh, I have to be vigilant with these supplements and this is going to work. And yeah, so determining what you need, once again, is either doing the hard work yourself, which, you know, is a lot of study, and it is possible to do, and figuring out what's actually the root cause of what's going on, and then pinpointing those supplements to aid you to get to a point where you don't need the supplements anymore. And then, like you say, one of my key supplements, which you probably get in a prenatal, is vitamin C. I know that helps with, like, you know, a lot of different issues, not just your immune system. But yeah, there's probably a few core ones that everyone could be taking that will be beneficial to overall health, not just your fertility health. And that's your, you know, a good, like you say, multivitamin that isn't from fucking Costco's. And yeah, I like to throw in vitamin C, and then you said magnesium,
Mm-hmm.
and then I definitely fish oil top. This is a little bit off topic, but what do you think about fish oil when you get pregnant?
Yeah, like I think we will recommend a is it the cod liver oil, the Rosita?
Yeah,
We're not necessarily recommending the I can't remember now what she's recommending. If it's like I think
because
it's
I know, you know, a lot of people who follow me or talk to me and they get pregnant and they've been on this fish oil, and it's actually recommended because of the high vitamin A content to not take fish oil when you're pregnant.
yeah,
And
I,
it's a very, I do, you know, it's, you know, the science behind it, you know, too much exposure to vitamin A can cause issues. But I think there's this disservice of like completely taking away a whole food group, you know, and they say don't eat liver because of the high vitamin A. It's just like, can you not just like tone it down a little bit? Or do you just say, don't do it?
yeah. I cannot speak to that because that would be the functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. So you would probably know
Yeah.
better on that one.
Well, I don't recommend anything because because I think people need to do what I did personally. I took it. I didn't take it every day. I didn't eat liver every day, but for me, what the nutrients you get and what you get, your baby gets from it, is super important. You know, brain function. But yeah, I was just wondering, you know, if you had thoughts on that, because yeah, people just completely cut it out because it's recommended. That's what, you know, the health organization or whoever is recommending.
Yeah, I would say to not, like, to me, the first line of thing is do not self prescribe. Like going on the internet and looking at to see what the top supplements are, I would not self prescribe. I would really work with a practitioner because you are going to fast track this thing,
Mm.
figure out and take a targeted approach. And so, yeah, like you could try to, I just think do not self prescribe. I don't think it's a good idea to self prescribe.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I know I said you can figure it out if you go and study and you do what, you know, a functional medicine practitioner is doing, and you want to figure out, then you can prescribe yourself.
That's like years and years of wasted time. Exactly. You hire someone, have them figure it out. Don't self-prescribe, and because you're wasting all your money on all these supplements, and then it could be completely wrong for you and actually making it worse.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep, which I've done several times. Probably to improve my egg quality. And that is our next question, is what are your top tips for increasing egg quality? And this is a big one because there's a lot of people, you know, that are going to IVF and now seeing that their egg quality is poor, like me. You know, there was nothing wrong with me, right? I walk in IVF, oh, you got shit eggs. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, to me, it's like again, in functional approach, we don't just focus on the eggs. So it's like, what are the stressors in the body? Is there food sensitivity? Is there a gut infection? what's the environmental toxins, like your cleaning chemicals, your personal care, your water, your plastics, the mental emotional side of things, so the whole mind, meditation, mindfulness, and then structural stress if there's a pinched nerve. So if you have any kind of stress going on, that's affecting your egg health. So it's not necessarily going deep into the egg health and taking like CoQ10 and all these targeted supplements for egg health. It's like looking at the whole body. And if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have a gut infection, if you have a food sensitivity, if you have undiagnosed, autoimmune disease, celiac, Hashimoto's, all those things can impact your egg quality. So it's not, it's like going big, zooming out, not zooming in.
Exactly. I mean, just all these little like how to improve my uterine lining and how to improve my eggs and how to improve this. It's just like, why are we singling this out? Your eggs don't live outside your body. It's not like you can go and give them injections or, they are poor because this is poor, right? Like this whole body
Yeah.
needs to be working together to create healthy eggs. And it's like, once again, it sucks that you got those genetics and you therefore have impacted, positive or negative. Most of us have done negative damage to our genetics, and that is your result. Some people get cancer, some people get an autoimmune disease, your fertility is affected, and you might have some of those other things on top of that. So going in and just looking at, this is what I'm going to do to increase my egg quality, just doesn't necessarily work.
No, it's like that allopathic approach where you like take like the thing and you attack the one thing, where you're like, oh, I have a cut on my finger, or I have like the symptom, whereas looking at the whole body and see what's been dysregulated, or what else is happening in the body, what's causing inflammation. And really, um yeah, it's people like to hear, though, tell me the exact steps I can take to improve my egg quality. Like, those are episodes on my podcast and posts that actually do really well.
Mm-hmm.
People want to know the exact steps, and zooming out may sound like, again, we're not giving the exact protocol. But if you were taking a functional approach and we look at your health history, which is like over 20 pages long, and we dig into all these different issues, then your egg quality does improve. You've got
Yeah.
people that have been told that they can only use donor eggs and they get pregnant naturally, by taking a functional approach. You got people that come in my mindset group, and they just work on mindset and they get pregnant naturally, or when they go to their IVF after multiple failed treatments, it works. So, and they've had low ovarian reserve. So it's I just think it's to look at it differently, and
Yeah.
like looking at the whole body and zooming out.
Yeah, and I think for us, if you say, here's your top tips of egg quality for most people, is like, take a supplement, eat more salmon, and get better sleep. If you have a top 3 things, let's say, find your food intolerances. That could be, for me, number one thing, hands down, to improve
Yes.
any situation. Find what doesn't work for you. Find what outside environments are affecting your body. Like if your shampoo, like I had a comment on that McDonald's French fries one. I'm always going to go back to that post, but someone saying like, oh, I had to change my shampoo and I had to change this and had to change that and I can't eat McFries. Like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, well, I'm sorry, if your shampoo is shit for you, you can't have it. Like, and we're so lucky to live in an age right now where there's companies out there that are figuring out those chemicals aren't good, so therefore you still are getting a good standard shampoo. Think about 10, 15 years ago, if you figured this shit out, you'd be washing like, what are you gonna, if you want that lathery feel. I
I
did
know,
try
like
not to wash my hair. I think, what was it, they say like
the no pooing, as they call it. That's what it's called. This no pooing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Hashtag no pooing. No,
Uh-uh.
yeah, no shampooing. Yeah, no pooing.
Yeah, I did try it in my crunchy time, and it just wasn't for me. I needed something, and luckily at that time they were coming out with, even herbal essence. That's like the most like probably chemical toxin lane, right? I used to use that shit all the time. Even now they have a shampoo that has less chemicals in it. So there's means and ways, right? It's not like this hard like lifestyle for us. Oh, woes us.
Like, it can suck when you're like, okay, the person over here, she just gets pregnant just by, you know, she can eat McDonald's, eat her junk and still get pregnant. And it does seem unfair. Like, it does. Why am I over here buying or eating all organic and changing my shampoo and, you know, not eating my treats and all these things? But it is a mindset shift, and to know, um, yeah, how we kind of got into that thinking, like we are very fortunate that we are following Angie Alt from Autoimmune Wellness, and talking big about the AIP diet. And she's talking about, we are so fortunate that we live in a country that we can actually figure this shit out with
Right.
diet and lifestyle, where other people don't have that option. Like, we have, that's available to us. We can select what we eat, how we, our mindset, all that is so important, and not everyone has that option. So to me, it is a mindset shift. And I'm just wondering for myself, like back then, if, yeah, I get the comments. You're like, well, yeah, like that's it. Just like, what do you mean? I got to do all this crap? Are you freaking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, or you look at it that, oh my God, I can do all this stuff and I can actually majorly improve my success of having this work.
Yeah.
So be
Yeah.
empowered or pissed off. And maybe you need to be pissed off first, and then you can start being empowered.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Um, so yeah, anyways, back to my 3 tips to get off our soapboxes again. We like being up there a lot, don't we? So find your food intolerances, find your environmental intolerance, which, like you just said, it is so easy to do that nowadays. You just have to put in the effort, right? And then I would say your mindset. I would say start looking at things in a different way. Just start off simple, like thank God, or whoever you think, that I woke up in a nice warm bed today. It could be that simple, and just start from there. So I think those would be our top 3 tips to improve egg quality.
Absolutely. Yeah. And on the mindset piece, and this is from you as well, that's that 5-minute journal.
Yeah.
I use that app every morning, and I'm like, and it's like, what are the 3 things you're grateful for today? And yeah, mine all, like, they're so lame, but it's like, I'm grateful for this. I don't know how many times I look back that I've been grateful for the sunshine. I'm grateful for my dog, and I'm grateful for that I get to like meditate. And then another one, I'm like, what are the 3 things you're going to do today? I will walk, I will meditate, and I will eat a nice lunch. I don't know. It's like these simple, but like when I'm writing them, I'm like, oh, damn, these are fun. So it is, yeah, rewiring your brain. And I'm like sitting here like smiling, and it was fun. So it doesn't all need to be crap.
Exactly. I've got mine here. And I don't know if you do a different daily affirmation a day, but I do the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
one every day, which I'll let.
That's yours.
I say, I am calm and patient and understanding to others.
That's a good one. I love it.
Every day, that's like my, like, okay.
I like that. I'm like, mine is, I'm present. And I say this because I'm sure you say that because those are things that you struggle. I don't know if you struggle with those. The same with the present, or I'm like off excited about the future, and I'm not catastrophizing about the future. I'm just excited about the future. But just to be present and to be like here in the thing. So I say that every day. I'm present.
And that is so hard to do during your infertility journey, right?
Yeah.
Being present. I mean, that is the hardest thing to do. And I know I wasn't for the first like 4 years. And I now get to look back on the last few years, and I feel like really joyful that I had that much time with my husband, because now you just don't, right? It's
You barely
just,
see them.
it's not like, that's just not what life is like for us anymore. And I know you are just coming out on the other end now. Your kids are leaving college and you're reconnecting with your husband again. And yeah, it's a really fucked up thing to say, and you don't ever say it to an infertile person
No.
because it is super annoying. But it's the truth. when you come into that side, I'm just like, thank God I took those last few years and we traveled and we hung out and we did things together, because that's just not our life right now, which is fine. We're 100% happy that our life has turned out the way it is. But being present is, yeah, hands down the hardest thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, that was for me too. Like it took us we got married, it took us 6 years after that to have children. And those 6 years, like we really had developed a really strong foundation for our relationship. And, during that time, so out of the 6 years we were trying for, I guess we were trying for 3.5. So, but it's still built we traveled and we really enjoyed each other's company. And now 3 years of marriage, and I still actually like them. So yeah.
Right. And you got through infertility together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's crazy. I don't follow that many people on Instagram anymore, when for several reasons. One, I get too emotionally involved. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. That's just who I am. So I found it really kind of draining, in a lot of ways, of just being really involved in these women's journeys. And obviously exciting when they get pregnant, but then it kind of hashed out all, it's almost like you're reliving the past, right?
Yeah. Trauma.
But yeah, there was a few women that I saw that ended their relationships because of infertility. And it's
Well,
just so heartbreaking, because their struggles, what they're going through. And like you say, if you don't start those bonds, or if you don't really work on those issues, they'll break you.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And I coach couples, and so the majority of them are in love and they want to have a baby, but there's a small percentage that end up going into like more of a couples coaching thing. And I thought, geez, couples coaching is that's a hard thing, because I'm dealing with people they're in a hard spot, but they want to be together.
Yeah.
Other times it can pull you apart, but be able to, if you want to get back together, and sometimes they actually don't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That could be definitely another topic for another
Yeah.
podcast, for sure. But that is it for us today. Once again, we've given you really broad answers and probably haven't solved anything for you. But I hope that we are encouraging you to take hold, take charge, be your own hero, and dig deep for the root cause of your infertility. Next week, what's on the topic? I think we're talking about being older moms next week. Not that we were necessarily really older moms, but we weren't moms when we wanted to be moms in our 20s. So yeah, thank you once again for joining us, Sarah, and I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend, and we will see you next week for another episode of The Infertile Diagnosis. A few more things before you go. If you like what we're doing, please leave a review and/or a rating. We would greatly appreciate it, and it would totally help us out. Also, if you like to connect with either of us, you can find me, Monica, over at mymindfulme.com, and you can connect with Sarah over on fabfertile.com. All the links you need to find us on our websites, our social media, any products we talk about, books, special offers, or any guests that we have on, you're going to find all that information in the show notes. So that's it. Thank you once again for being with us here on The Infertile Diagnosis, and have a beautiful day.